Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 519. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
Richard Bailey Jr.,
What's up, everybody?
and Brian Manjoma.
So then all the villains are race swapped black people. What are you trying to say?
Oh, man, don't watch that Spider-Man show. Trash. All right, we are here. And yes, logic wins, as you're pointing out. This will be a classic episode. Here's the thing. This is already going to be a really good episode. Originally, full disclosure, the original lead story was going to be about Microsoft's earnings report, which we will talk about, but you already know what the main topic is. You see it. Forza Horizon 5 coming to Xbox. Ooh, listen, man.
Xbox.
Excuse me, the PlayStation coming
Go
to
to PlayStation.
Yeah. Manny, where's it coming to again?
Coming to that PlayStation.
And that's why I'm wearing the hat. So I'm wearing the hat.
I feel like we're in an alternate universe of some sort where everything that was once on an Xbox comes to PlayStation these days.
All right. So predictably, Twitter has lost its fucking mind, right? Even though not a week ago, Phil Spencer was on Gamertag Radio celebrating their 20th anniversary, where he flat out said, "We are bringing more Xbox games to PlayStation." Manny, to quote you, people have bird memory. They just forgot
bird memory.
that he said that.
He's been saying this for like more
been
than 1
saying
year,
this.
more than this year.
I don't think it's bird memory. I think it's like they hear what Charlie Brown hears where his teacher talks. Whenever he talks about 46, yeah, they hear that. They don't hear like him saying like, "Hey, we're gonna start publishing on other platforms." They don't hear that stuff.
Here's the thing, hey, Chris, didn't like he say maybe 4 months ago there was no red line when it comes to these games? He said this. No, you're right. It's like some Charlie Brown shit. You know,
here's the thing. I think the one difference between these things is he hasn't officially said the thing like what I call the incriminating thing. Even though every single bit of their actions and all this stuff has all been pointing to this direction and things that he has said. He hasn't overtly said Microsoft is third party.
Yeah, that's the thing. And when he says that people are going to go crazy, even though, like you said, the actions are already saying this, right? We are literally 1 year removed from Xbox announcing that 4 games were coming and did eventually come, right? Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush. All came to PlayStation, right? And some of them came to the Switch. So they've been doing this. This has been going on for well over a year, but dudes have bird memory, and you saw how some people lost it last year, like our boy Tim Dog. Oh man.
Meltdown.
So Meltdown City, and today has been no different. It's been free entertainment, man. But here's the key difference this time. This isn't a studio that's like a third-party studio that Microsoft bought. This is an internal studio. This is not only that, this is one of the 3 pillars. What have we always said are the 3 main franchises for Microsoft, right? Halo, Gears of War, and Forza.
And money.
That was the fourth one, right? The one, this is Xbox toe dipping now, with the big 3. Out of the big 3, which one would cost the least amount of controversy? Would be Forza, and it already costs a lot of controversy. So you can imagine, because now it's not even like, like a hypothetical. It's not a hypothetical anymore. What would happen if Gears of War came to PlayStation? What would happen if Halo came to PlayStation? That's not a hypothetical anymore. It's going to happen. Right? And you're hearing all these rumors right now about, Halo Master Chief Collection possibly coming to Switch too. bro, you know that's going to be coming to PS5 as well. Get ready. If today is any indication, Twitter is going to melt down, and it's going to be glorious, and I'm going to be there for it. It's funny to me, you know? But again, their actions have said this. They haven't flat out said we are a third party's publisher. They haven't said that, but their actions say otherwise. Just accept it, you know? Just accept it.
The thing about it is again, they have to do something, you know, because again, their service is not making the money. Like, granted, you know, they did have their whole little thing. They had their bump with the Call of Duty stuff, right? You know, and that was a big bump onto their financials. You know, we're probably going to look at that a little bit later. But it's like they have to. Their division is pouring out more money than it's taking in.
Yeah, it's again. We're going to get into the specifics of that because Microsoft was actually the number one game publisher last year for obvious reasons, right? But if you look at the numbers, you know, it's the jump hasn't been substantial. But yeah, again, this is all part of the plan. They knew they can't compete with PlayStation. Again, and this goes back. This isn't just this generation. This goes back to 2015 when they started bringing their games over to PC. Remember Play Anywhere initiative? It's still a thing, you know? So again, like we've been discussing this whole time, it's just been a gradual thing. Like the ice glaciers and shit melting. It's a gradual thing, you know, but it's just gonna be gone one day, you know? And the other interesting thing is like, and remember that, you know, Phil Spencer brought this up with Danny, you know, in Paris, right? He said that like you're gonna buy an Xbox console for whatever special features it may have, you know, kind of like, you know, you buy one like DVD player versus another. Hey, this one has this feature, this one has that feature. You know, we're kind of erasing everything. And as others have pointed out, there are no differences anymore hardware-wise between a PlayStation and an Xbox. It's all x86 now. This isn't the days of the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, guys. This isn't the days of the cell processor or the Emotion engine. Like they're all basically like kind of dedicated like shitty PCs, you know, like they only really do one thing. So if we don't have that anymore, and they already have most of the same game library, there's not a lot of differences other than like, you know, the achievements, the UI, stuff like that. And that's a good enough reason to buy a console. Look at Adam. He's literally flip-flops between consoles depending on the UI. So I think that may be how hardware sells. But yeah, we're living in a new age right now, people.
It's going to be a difficult one because I don't know what game changer that Microsoft could offer that would really be a thing. Like, in other words, okay, yes, the PlayStation has their little fast, you know, SSDs or whatever that, but is that a real reason to buy a console?
For people like Adam, it is, but I agree with you. Like, that's not really a big thing. And I still think, I'm just going to say it, I think Phil Spencer's just throwing out there for the people who are really worried. They're not worried about console sales. Again, we're going to get to it. Console sales are down 23% for Xbox, right? Like, that's not it. They're not making their money off of that. Making their money off subscriptions, which is the ultimate goal. But I agree with you. It's like if you bought a PlayStation, unless you're a guy like Adam, you're not going to switch. You know, you're like, I'm happy with my console. I'm good. You know?
Yeah, and like, you know, I think that's but he did say it himself in the Gamertag interview. It's really more about the software than it is about consoles. So, and we've been saying this for years. You know, most of these companies release their consoles at a loss, and then and they recoup that through their software sales, and then eventually their consoles catch up, and then they start making a legitimate profit off of it.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, because he also Phil Spencer also did an interview with Destin. Is Destin, by the way, real quick, because I don't follow these fucking people. So is Destin still with IGN or is he independent?
He's independent right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, So this is what Phil Spencer said. Remember, this is a week ago, and people are freaking out over Forza coming to PlayStation. When he said this a week ago, because the interviews kind of came out at the same time, he flat out said, whether it's cloud, whether it's PC, whether it's handheld, whether it's phone, whether it's PlayStation, even Nintendo expect our games to show up on more and more places. Can you read English? It's fucking right there. You know? Oh no, they betrayed me. Why did you say that when he did this fucking interview? You thought he was just joking? Chris, I think you're right. It's just
God, I don't hear that shit.
Fucking crazy, you know? Anyway, what are you guys' thoughts on this, man?
I mean, you guys have mentioned most of it. It's the most predictable thing that we could have, and we predicted it like every year for like the last 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the inevitable, and the thing that I'm confused about is I wonder why Xbox didn't just announce everything. Why they're doing this slow trickle, which seems like it's kind of worse, in particular with like you guys mentioning the reaction from the fan base, well, from the hardcore fan base. That is, it like first it was just those third party. Obviously, they're first party Xbox, but they're acquired from a third party perspective. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we don't care about those. And then it's like, oh, and now it's Forza. And now people are losing their minds. And then Gears is going to be next. And then Halo's going to be next. I'm like, just do them all in one go. So that whatever bad press you're going to get, just get it over with.
Go ahead, Rich.
I agree, Carlos. But you have to remember, Carlos, what they said. We're going to do this on a case-by-case basis. So this is exactly why they will not announce everything all at once. Now, you saw when we saw Doom last week, straight up said, yes, this is coming to PlayStation 5, day and date. There's no delay, none of that stuff. So, they definitely are treating it as such with some announcements. But I do agree, Carlos, they should just say, Gears and Halo coming to PlayStation 5 and Switch later this year. They might as well just make the announcement, but they're going to take their time to space this stuff out.
I almost think the reason why they're spacing these things out is because they don't want to fully negatively affect whatever they got going.
That's what I think.
Mm.
That's what I believe. And I'm going to say this right now, and I know I'm being selfish when I say this. I want them to trickle it out because it gives us more content for podcasts. Trickle it out.
Well, yeah, there's a meltdown every time.
Chris, every time.
Every single time.
You would figure it would like lessen. Nope, it intensifies. So yeah, please just announce Gears at the end of the year, right? And then Halo next year.
Let me ask you. So let me ask you a question. So Tony, you're saying when they announce that the next time we see Gears E-Day, I expect to see images online and memes of talking about coming to PlayStation. There'll be graphics all over the place. Yes, this game is coming to PlayStation as well, not just Xbox.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I guarantee that is probably going to be a featured image on Throwdown. You know,
one thing I do think with a lot of their legitimate first party games, like the ones that are developed by their main studios, I think they're going to do exactly what they did with Indiana Jones. I think they're going to wait on those. So Gears of War E-Day will initially come out, on Xbox and PC first, and then they'll have a later date for PlayStation.
Oh, man. So who brought this up in the fucking comments? Let me see. So I want to give him credit. I think it was Logic Wins, but I could be wrong. I just want to be sure here. It's my man, Fergus Mills.
Oh,
there you go.
Shout out to Fergus Mills.
He goes, imagine the chaos when Digital Foundry says Forza plays better on a PlayStation.
Oh, damn, yeah.
And think about it.
Pro features.
Yeah, and think about it like this, Rich. Imagine this is okay. This is something I couldn't have even said 12 hours ago, but now it's a possibility. Forza Horizon 5, PlayStation Pro enhanced.
Yep.
Oh man! And think about it. If that happens, the Pro enhancement, it's automatically going to be better than Xbox Series X. Like. Bro, it's crazy. Halo Master Chief Collection will be out in summer, Gears Collection in September, and Starfield in November. That's what the Syrian Air Force says. Never know.
And,
Yeah, go ahead.
and let me just say, nobody cares about Starfield, so yeah, that should go to PlayStation 5 as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, man, I'm ready to play Halo Master Chief Collection with Carlos on PS5. You know,
Man, we'll see if it works.
Imagine
keep up the tradition of the shitty port of the Master Chief Collection that needs to be fixed over 10 years.
Yeah,
yeah. That's I will say this as a almost lifelong Halo fan. Playing Halo on a PlayStation console is gonna feel weird as hell, man.
yeah.
It's just one of those things where it just doesn't feel right.
It's gonna be interesting, you know. What are you pressing reload with the square button and shit?
Mm-hmm. Man, why these sticks all disoriented?
Yeah. Were you gonna say, Rich?
Yeah, I was gonna say that exact same thing that you saw Gene post earlier about using. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yep, that's where I got that from Gene. Shout out to Gene. You know, we live in interesting times, man. So yeah, I say bring them all, but trickle them out. You know, we need more content. And the freakouts have been glorious.
And we're not talking about Diddy parties.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, no.
All right. Let's move on here. You know, we already alluded to this. Let's get into it, man. Microsoft was the #1 games publisher in the world last month. Crazy. Nearly $500 million. I'm guessing that's right. You know, I'm bad with math. It says 0.5 BN. How much is that?
Billion.
That's 500.
500 million.
Yeah,
million.
$500 million.
Okay, yeah. Nearly $500 million was spent on Xbox games across Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox in December.
Oh.
Yo, hold up, bro. Hold up. VGC, you guys are evil. I like how you put Xbox last there, bro. But maybe it sold more on the other platforms. You know?
That's probably it, man. Like, you think about it, if a bunch of people are already on the, or on the service, those numbers don't really count. You're only counting service numbers.
Yeah.
As far as video game, as legitimate sales, Call of Duty's selling on a PlayStation, and Call of Duty's selling on Steam. So people want their duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not surprising. We talked about this before the acquisition, for the Activision acquisition. It's like, yeah, well, after this, Microsoft's going to be the biggest publisher because the whole discussion was like, well, Sony and Tencent are the two biggest publishers, and we're the small old Microsoft here or Xbox here, falling behind. And yeah, after this became the thing, and they released the Call of Duty. No surprise, they're the #1 publisher now.
Yep. Rich, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I was going to ask, because I'm not looking at that article right now. How much of the sales are attributed to Call of Duty and Activision? Because we know Microsoft ain't released that many games last year under the first party lineup anyway.
Yeah. It says it right here. The majority of that was attributed to Call of Duty. So there you go.
That figures.
Yeah, it attracted.
There it is. Science here.
Yeah, it attracted 38 million monthly users in November 2024.
Wow,
that's crazy, bro. Which set the game up strongly for December, obviously. Actually, let me read this. This is some interesting shit. So, 465 million was spent on Microsoft games over December, making the company the world's biggest publisher across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. That's according to data firm Ampere, and includes sales of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which was one of the biggest games over the holiday period. It also includes the release of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which launched in December. But it was Call of Duty that delivered the majority of the success. Call of Duty HQ, which includes Black Ops 6, attracted 38 million monthly users in November 2024, Ampere says, which set the game up strongly for December. Microsoft has been putting increased focus on its multi-platform strategy, and 64% of consumer spending on Microsoft titles in December was on PlayStation format. Fuck, bro, shit. These games are, bro, nearly
so that's 2/3.
Two-thirds of Xbox sales are coming from PlayStation. Holy shit.
People still buy games on PlayStation.
That's true. You know?
Of course,
doesn't matter if it's a physical.
Yeah, what's up, Brian?
Well, of course, they have no Game Pass, so
You
they have
know?
to buy the games.
Exactly. You have to buy it.
Yeah. Let me see here. Ampere says that Microsoft was comfortably ahead of second place Electronic Arts, which generated $366 million over the same period. EA's performance was driven by EA Sports FC 25, which delivered big numbers, albeit smaller than they were last year. It's interesting how, remember, we just reporting last week how the fucking game bombed, you know, but it still made money. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You bomb, but you still make a shit ton of money. Wild, bro. Ampere data also revealed that 30 million hours were spent playing Fortnite. Who gives a fuck about Fortnite? Anyway, yeah, I'm shocked. Not that it's so better on PlayStation, by the amount. You know, 2/3, bro. Crazy. Sunday's question show is going to be crazy. J Shep, let us have it. Let's go, son. You know? All right, so let's move on to related to this. Because obviously they're the biggest publisher of December, but you got to look at the numbers, you know? And Chris, thankfully, guys like Shinobi actually broke down the Xbox numbers from the Microsoft earnings report because you know how difficult it is navigating all that shit.
Oh, I hate that thing.
Yeah, so let's thank him, for doing that for us.
Thank you.
So check it out. Microsoft earnings, quarter two, fiscal year 2025. Xbox and gaming division details. Gaming revenue declined by 7%. Xbox hardware revenue dropped 29%. Yeah. Content and services grew 2%. 2%.
2%.
But despite that, Mr. Nadella says that he's happy. He says like, hey, this shit is working. This Xbox Game Pass stuff, So kind of interesting. I'm like, 2% doesn't sound like a lot to me, But yeah, he says right here, Xbox doubles down on profit, high margin business, Xbox Game Pass breaking exclusivity, all that good stuff. But yeah, so Nadella seems happy about this overall, even though I'm like, damn, But I do want dudes to understand that the console lost, is down by 30%, and Microsoft's like, that's cool, because again, that's not their focus. Selling consoles is not their focus. It's about subscriptions. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, no, I mean we've all talked about this numerous times in the past that Xbox will become a service and multi-platform, whatever, and now it's finally happening. I mean, they could say they have one more system in them, but they don't care about it. That's the whole ad campaign they're putting out. This is an Xbox. It's like Steam Deck and all these devices. Then it'll be Switch 2. PS5 is an Xbox. Everything is an Xbox now, except the Xbox. Nobody cares. But the strategy is behind the software and the service. It's not the console itself doesn't matter.
Yeah, and because the guys are already in the chat, understandably saying, "Oh man, only 2%. Like, what the fuck?" Remember,
well, it's a trend.
Yeah, but it's 2% for their services and shit, right? Remember, like we just talked about in the previous story, they made a lot of money selling Call of Duty to PlayStation guys. So maybe it all kind of works out in the end that way,
Yeah,
they made a shit ton of money off of
I'd be curious.
PlayStation.
Yeah, and I don't expect Shinobi to look at it, but if you look at their fiscal year 2025 projections for Xbox and gaming division, you'll probably see that trend go up. They're looking at the trend increasing, right? As they diversify platforms, you have more potential for revenue. So they're that 2%, they're looking at the growth curve of it, not just like, oh, it's only 2%. That's just a frozen value. They're looking at a growth, right? And they see it, so that's why they're happy.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I have a question for Chris. So Chris, in regards to the hardware number, do you expect that number to go higher in terms of, maybe about 50% of the hardware drop or something by the end of this year? Or
I think that number will increase because there's less and less reason to own an Xbox, and then as you get people investing in different systems, especially whenever Nintendo launches the Switch 2 and you have the PS5 Pro, if you can play your Xbox games on a PS5, or right now you play it on a PC, kids may invest in a PC. They may just go, I just can get a PC and get everything I want, or a Steam Deck, or the Legion Go, or a Switch 2. So you have all these options. But with those other options, what do you have? With Nintendo, at least, you can play your Nintendo exclusives. Or with Steam Deck, you have the whole Steam library, and you can mod it however you want. So you have those broader options to play. I don't see being locked down to a Series S or X being a viable option to somebody shopping now for a console or in the future. So that number would probably increase, right? Yeah, the console sale is going to keep declining. I don't know what they're going to offer. If they're going to keep say, oh, we got one more console, I'm like, well, what are you going to offer hardware-wise or feature-wise to drive any sales for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus with the options
what I
now.
was saying before.
Yeah.
In general, what does Microsoft have that everybody else doesn't? If they're giving away all of their exclusives to everybody else, what is the thing that's going to keep you coming to them? Yeah. At this point, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter what the console is doing. If you have a PC, you have a PlayStation, or if you have a Switch, you're good to go. You don't need an Xbox. So,
and also, Windows 11 is not a draw for gaming at this point. It runs poorly. Tony already talked about this. It runs worse. Like battery life wise and whatever on the same hardware, right? Than like SteamOS.
A lot of bloat,
Right. There's too much bloat. They don't have a streamlined version of Windows 11 to offer on the consoles. Not like in the 360 days when they had a streamlined OS running on there. They don't have that. So that's not the offering. And like May said, so what is the offering? I don't know. You could throw all the hardware you want at it. A PC will always beat it. Always. So it's not that. And then you have portability. You have Switch 2, you have Steam Deck, you have Legion Go, RG, Ally. So they don't have portability unless they're going to jump in that boat, which I don't see the point.
Which they
said they are. Yeah, they said they're doing it. They actually, they're doing it. They said they are actively working on a handheld.
Okay, well, all right. That's I think they're stepping in that pool too late.
Yeah. I think it would be better for them just to partner with somebody and just stop with the bullshit.
I
want to bring up something Fergus Mills said, which is a good point, which is also something we've been kind of talking about. But let me get to what he said first. If Microsoft potentially has $100 billion to buy TikTok, they can afford to stick with Game Pass strategy for a while. Yeah, we've always said Microsoft makes so much money, they could take a loss on the gaming division. It doesn't fucking matter to them. It's not a big loss.
Which they have for a while now.
Yeah, they could literally get rid of the gaming division and it won't hurt the company. I'm not even being like hyperbolic about that.
I mean, yeah, if they got rid of the Xbox division, it doesn't really matter because they're still the publisher for all the. You're still the publisher for all of these other games.
And that I'm talking about Microsoft as a whole. Microsoft is good. They're not worried about that. That's why people are, oh, that's it. Xbox gonna go away. No, it's not. Microsoft, they can keep it going. It's not gonna hurt them. It's just what form will Xbox take? That's the question.
And the thing is that, and now again, like we're seeing, they're seeing growth, from their acquisition. They're seeing all this money coming in, like from this division that was essentially kind of bleeding. Yeah. So it's like, all right.
Yeah, and right here it says that the PC subscriber base grew over 30% over the past quarter. And I want to read this. This is kind of interesting from the same report. Gross margin increased 1.9 billion or 15%, driven by growth in gaming, including the impact of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Gross margin percentage increased driven by sales mix shift to higher margin businesses and improvement in search and news advertising and gaming. So yeah, they're making money, you know. Very interesting. But again, we've been saying this shit for a while, bro. This is where Xbox has been heading all this time, you know. But yeah, very interesting stuff. So there you go. And the Switch will be next with all those Xbox games, you know. Very interesting. All right, here's another story which also had the potential of being the lead story this week. This week was crazy, bro. Sony, PlayStation has a new CEO. People rejoiced. Especially
and it's
Riku,
not Herman Holtz.
And it's not Herman Holtz. So, and forgive me if I fuck up any of these names. Hiroki Toki named corporate CEO of Sony. So he was the guy that was kind of running things, but now he's been kind of put up there. And Hideaki Nishino elevated to solo CEO role at Sony Interactive Entertainment. There's just one guy now. It was Herman Holtz and this other dude, but now it's like, no, this guy gets.
Yeah, they were both the interim CEOs.
Yep. So I'll just read this. This is from Variety. I didn't know they covered gaming. Fuck. Right. Sony Corporation is shaking up its leadership ranks in Tokyo and San Mateo, elevating Hiroki Totoki to the top CEO post, while Hideaki Nishino takes the reins of Sony Interactive Entertainment as the solo CEO of the unit that houses PlayStation. The corporate shuffle, effective April 1st, April Fool's Day, was approved late Tuesday by the Electronics and Entertainment Giants Board of Directors in Tokyo. Totoki, a 38-year Sony veteran who most recently served as Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer, will succeed Kenichiro Yoshida as leader of the company that is a cornerstone of the business in Japan. Totoki will serve as president and CEO of Sony Corporation. The handoff from Yoshida to Totoki also comes with a restructuring of the senior business ranks. Sony Pictures Entertainment. All right, we don't care about any of that shit. Where's the Herman Holtz part? That's what I care about. You know, I know Riku's happy about that. You know, but yeah. And shout out to the guys in the chat. You know, in the Discord. They were fucking celebrating, boy. You know, even though I'm a little confused by that, it's like, you know, is it because you guys don't like Herman? Like, what was up with that? Here we go. Nishino was elevated as CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Platform Business Group in May 2024. He shared oversight of the PlayStation maker with Herman Holtz, who was CEO of the division Studio Business Group. Those appointments were made in the wake of the departure of Jim Ryan, the favored son. What's Holtz doing now? He's like going to be an overseer or something?
Yeah, he's the CEO of PlayStation. Was not studio. Yeah, PlayStation Studios.
Yeah, he will lead the development, publishing, and business operation of Sony Interactive Entertainment's first-party content. Okay, so that's what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, so he's the guy. He's pretty much the same role that he had during the Ryan era. Yeah, but he is not the kind of. Yeah, it's mostly the first-party stuff that he was in charge of before.
Yeah, so he's doing the same thing. Yeah,
pretty much the same thing. I think he just got a bit of a bigger role. I don't think he was named CEO of that before.
No. So yeah, what do you guys think? I honestly, to be honest, I don't have any thoughts. It doesn't really matter to me. But you know, does anybody have any strong feelings about this?
Well, hopefully it'll mean there'll be a shift toward the Japanese side than the American side.
Yeah.
Because hopefully they clean out that San Francisco office. That's what I'm hoping.
Because during that time where they literally went and nixed a bunch of internal PlayStation studios out in Japan, I'm wondering if they're pulling it back because of. I mean, granted, they're still making gangbuster money, but maybe them looking at the fact that the generation doesn't have any sort of iconic titles. Maybe they're seeing some of that. Who knows?
Although it's too late to make any games like that now.
No, it's too. It's we're halfway through right now, pretty much, right? You can't. The only time you'll ever see anything is, to be honest, like they're probably already thinking about PlayStation 6 already at this point in time. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chris, what's your take on this shakeup?
Well, I think it's a positive thing. I hope what that means is like that enough pressure has been put on Sony to do this restructuring because Jim Ryan's moving SIE out of Japan to San Francisco, and that kind of ideology bleeding back in has caused a lot of problems. And especially with there's stories, with third-party Japanese developers having to communicate with SIE and being forced to localize to them or whatever, and it's just this nightmare that he created. It should have never left Japan, and or if it did, it needed to go somewhere else. But that was a huge mistake, and hopefully this guy can course correct that because all that ideological nonsense needs to bleed out of Sony.
Yeah,
so that they can...
Sony needs its own Doge,
Yeah, exactly.
Like get rid of all that stuff. I know this is not going to happen, but I'm like, get PlayStation out of fucking California, take it back to Tokyo.
Exactly. So that's what I'm hoping.
Well, I mean, if the CEO is of Sony Computer Entertainment is in Japan,
yeah.
I mean, I would
bring things in house.
Yeah, bring it in house. Yeah, close that. Close it down. In where are they? In San Francisco? Where are they?
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, close that shit down and just keep it in Tokyo.
I don't think necessarily that area will,
or make it like a satellite thing. It's like,
it sort of was like a satellite. Beforehand, right? The main office is over there.
Yeah, but they made it the main office. That's the problem.
They made it the main office. So yeah, I think they'll probably, the way things are going is probably Herman is going to keep track of whoever is on this side of the ocean as far as any of the first party titles, like he was doing before. And then maybe they might move a little bit more operations, and maybe they'll open up a few more Japanese studios on the other end.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, that makes more sense why people are so hopeful, Yeah, for me, I'm like, if they could make the headquarters back in Tokyo, that'd be a huge win,
Yeah.
Huge win. But yeah, we'll see, how long, it takes before this dude starts making any substantial changes. But it's better than what we had before, so gotta be hopeful.
If he's coming in April,
yep.
That he's coming in April, which means that whatever things that have already been set in motion are already set in motion. They already started. We saw it already. They've already announced a lot of these cancellations of these superfluous online multiplayer bullshit service games. So now it's about getting back. We'll see what they're going to go do next. Are they going to get back to basics and try to recapture some of that older magic, or is it just going to be more of the same? We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take time.
It is.
It's going to take time to course correct. I mean, fair games is still happening, right?
No,
fair game.
No, Manny. He does get the Phil Spencer dozen. Okay. Phil Spencer got a dozen years.
Phil Spencer. Yeah, he got his 10 years. People have been waiting for 10 years for whatever Phil Spencer has been cooking, and they're still waiting. Still waiting for a lot of the stuff to come to pass.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see about.
What's your thoughts on this, bro?
It's just difficult to analyze because I have no clue who this person is. He's just not that front facing, at least to a non-Japanese perspective. Because maybe to Japanese people, everyone knows him. Who knows? But for me, he's just he's just a guy.
Yeah.
That's taking over.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too. I'm like, I don't know enough about this guy, but yeah, I guess the hope comes from like Sony has been the direction they've been going in hasn't been to people's liking, so any change could potentially be good. Yeah, maybe that's where we're coming from. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like some change gives you hope for course correction.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully that's the case. I don't know if I tuned in a little bit late to this particular topic, but I will say this. Riku, you are in my thoughts. I know you're celebrating right now. there, Mr. Herman Holst had a short stint as a co-head or the co-head of the associate of the CEO. It was not long lasted, but he had his hopefully he had fun in his time there. But we'll see. Hopefully it's a better Sony. I'm not holding my breath because Sony is. I'm still thinking about it as I talk.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned the whole Japanese connection. Going back to its roots and stuff like that. And for me, it's like Sony doesn't really have Japanese developers like that anymore.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Like if you think of Capcom, it's like, yeah, they got droves and droves and droves of quality Japanese developers that can make a game every year that are going to be great. But Sony, it's their Western studios are the ones that
they only have Team Asobi. That's currently their only studio over there in Japan.
Yeah. And everything else is Naughty Dog and Santa Monica, Sucker Punch, and all those studios. So we'll see. Hopefully, maybe they acquire Capcom. Who knows? But yeah, I'm hoping for a better tomorrow with Sony because I haven't been happy with them for over a decade at this point.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. But by the way, speaking about Twitter, because people on Twitter were opining as they would. There was one comment, and the guy was being an obvious troll, but people thought they took it seriously. The guy jumps in there, replying to this news, and he's like, "Damn it! Why are we giving American corporations over to the Chinese?" And people are like, "Sony's Japanese. What the fuck?" I'm like, dude, he's trolling you, man. It's hilarious. But again, people haven't been happy with the course. Carlos, like me and you, we haven't been happy. So any change is potentially good. So we'll see. We shall see. And speaking about change that Sony's bringing up, remember one of the big deals last year was over Helldivers, the whole you need a PSN account, all that bullshit. And Sony was kind of flip-flopping back and forth on that, But now it seems it's official. You will not need a PlayStation account to play their PC games,
Yep.
Very
and
interesting.
They said though there is fun incentives if you do sign up with one.
Yep.
So they give you additional stuff if you log on to there.
Yeah.
Which is how it should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had to learn it the hard way.
Don't force people to go jump into this thing when they were when you initially told for a while now, since they've been releasing PlayStation games on the damn thing, on the damn PC, that all of a sudden now we've decided to change the rules. The rules should have been that if we were going to do that, it should have been done on the first title that they ever released on PC to essentially establish the order of business. Right?
Yep. But they weren't thinking like that.
But you can't. But I think Brett always says this. You can't. PC people don't remember. Or even Brian has said this. PC people remember. You can't just all of a sudden start charging an online fee, or making people log into things when they are classically known to not be able to. It's not that way, right? So
Brian,
finally, somebody's over there. Finally, somebody saw some sense over there.
Yeah. Brian, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Good luck to them. Let's see how many people actually forgive them and start caring, because I think they might have just soured might have just soured they just soured themselves. In this case, again, this is, as you guys have said, this is something that should have been a thing since the first go, and them making it required was one of the most ridiculous reasons ever, and it made no sense to anything possible. So it just makes me wonder, who is the one that made that decision to make it a requirement in the first place? Because whoever that is, they don't understand how people want to play their games, which is
Could have been Herman Holst.
As Riku would
He's
say,
still
it was
there.
Herman.
Well, if he's still there, that's still a big problem, in my opinion. So, whoever makes that decision is clearly the pain point and should not be there because they don't understand. Again, I can't give them props for something that they should have done in the first place. It is like I'm just really sick and tired of giving Sony props for doing the thing that they should have done in the first place. It's getting really frustrating at this point. So, again, I said this from the get-go. Let's see how it fares out adding this requirement, and they made it a requirement. Well, they made it a mandatory thing at the start. And I was like, okay, so this is how they plan to control DRM, and yeah, it's just not great. But yeah, it's there now, and I think that there's been a few games where they were modded so that you can actually play without having to sign in. So it's clearly not a thing that was forced into the game, that it is a requirement. So yeah, fine. Let's see what happens. And I haven't heard if this retroactively affects older games. I know that they said it's a thing for Spider-Man and God of War. Yeah, it's waiting outside and he just came back.
Like, yo, give me food, motherfucker. Stop talking about
he just wants to be dry.
Games. Yeah, England raining. Yeah, no, but I agree with you. It's like, like you guys said, PC gamers have long memories. So we'll see if they forgive Sony for this one.
Unlike console gamers that fucking bird memories.
Bird memory, yeah. It's like, what wait, but Xbox games come in a PlayStation? What? It's like, dude, last week. Oh man, that's crazy. There was something else. Oh yeah. The incentives. So if you do decide to sign in with a PlayStation account, here's some goodies that you're going to be getting for select games. For Marvel Spider-Man 2, which just dropped today, by the way. And I have to say this real quick. We got our PC codes the same time the game dropped. I found very strange. I'm like, are you not confident in this game? Rich, I don't know if you knew that. It was like, okay, just some behind the scenes stuff. I was talking to Paris for like a couple of days. I'm like, yo, this fucking game comes out this week. Where's the codes? And this morning, because it unlocked at 11 a.m. and we were like, yo, watch this shit. Watch them send us the code at 11. Literally at 11, Sony sends the code out. Like, wow, very strange. You like, this is Spider-Man,
I do want to make a quick comment about that. I have noticed that whenever it's a PC game that Sony is releasing, that code comes incredibly close to the launch time. So, we did receive a code as well. Our very own Mr. Adam Vale will be reviewing that. So, stay tuned for that. But we definitely everybody gets those codes, PC stuff as close as possible to launch. So this was very interesting.
At launch. This was literally at launch. But yeah, to your point, stay tuned. I will be giving you my thoughts on it. I haven't started fully yet, but I'm going to be testing it on the Lenovo Legion Go S. I could talk to you about it because there's no embargo on the Lenovo Legion Go S. So I will give you my review for that. Will be up on Tom's Guide soon. And obviously, I'll let you guys know about the system, which is all the way across my apartment here. So I should have probably had it here for show and tell. Anyway, so for Spider-Man 2, if you sign in with a PlayStation account on PC, you unlock the Spider-Man 2099 black suit and the Miles Morales 2099 suit, which come with the review code, which is nice. For God of War Ragnarok, you gain access to the Armor of the Black Bear set for Kratos and the first Lost Items chest in the Realm Between Realms. Previously only accessible in a New Game Plus run, and a resource bundle of 500 hack silver and 250 XP. For The Last of Us 2 Remastered, you get plus 50 points to activate bonus features and unlock extras. Jordan's jacket from Intergalactic The Heretic Prophecy. Interesting. As a skin for Ellie. Will she also shave her head? And for for Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, you gain access to the Nora Valiant outfit. So nothing earth-shattering, but little something, you know?
So are those things available for the PlayStation as well?
I have no idea. Just for the PC version right here. Go ahead, Rich.
That might piss some PlayStation heads off a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to make a quick comment about that. The intergalactic jacket that you can receive. I just want to give you some breaking news. Our very good friend Carlos Romero did tell me this is why he is going to pre-order The Last of Us Part 2 on PC. So there you go.
Oh, man, you heard it here first.
All right, Rich. Rich, man, these some messages are better just stayed on the DMs,
man. Yeah. Oh man. Assyrian Air Force. Yeah, definitely. And Tony, do you think an 8-inch screen is best screen size for portable handheld? I think 8 inches is like kind of the max before it starts getting ridiculous. Because the Lenovo Legion Go, the regular one, has like an 8.8-inch screen, and that's a little excessive because if you want the games to run at a good, like a good performance, you gotta lower the resolution to 720. But 720 doesn't look very good at almost 9 inches. But at 8 inches, you can still kind of get away with it, But yeah, I agree. 7 to 8 inches is good for handhelds. But then we got the Acer Nitro Blaze 11. That 11 means 11 inches. I messed around with it at CES, and it's fucking gargantuan. It's almost like a fucking tablet with like controls on the sides. It's nuts,
Well, that's the iPad isn't that 11 inches? So yeah, it's pretty much a tablet.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of handhelds coming this year, people. So get ready, and your boy will be covering all of them. So stay tuned.
And the ultimate one is going to come out this year as well. The Switch.
The Switch. Yeah, here's the thing, and I'm glad you kind of bring this up. The Switch 2 potentially. Oh, I can't believe I'm even going to say this right now, bro. Potentially could give the Steam Deck a run for its money. This is why. Some games like Indiana Jones don't run very well on the Steam Deck because, that system doesn't do ray tracing very well, and you need a graphics card with ray tracing on it. Supposedly, the Switch 2 is going to have decent ray tracing on it. So imagine, Carlos, if that game runs better on the fucking Switch 2. That'd be insane. And then think about it. If the Switch 2 gets a lot of third-party titles and they potentially run better than on Steam Deck, bro, Adam may be coming back to Switch,
Rich might be looking for his receipt right now.
Oh, man. So, and remember, this is me saying this shit, bro. Don't discount the Switch 2. If this thing is at least as powerful as a PS4, you may get a decent amount of third-party games that run well on it,
Tony.
Or at least an Xbox Series S.
Excuse me?
Yo, Tony.
Yeah. What up?
Will GTA 5 run on that shit?
It could. Oh. It could. It could. Ooh, I should make that tweet to see if these motherfuckers come after me. It could. I don't see why not.
There you go.
Crazy, bro. Stay tuned for that. All right, so a lot of littler stories. Yes, it's not a real word, but I'm making up. I'm a fucking writer. I'm allowed to do that. Smaller.
You're allowed to add. You're allowed to add.
I'm allowed to make up words.
I'm
allowed to make up words. I'm a writer. This is what we do.
I'm friends with Webster.
It's my man Webster. I used to watch his show back in the day.
That's my dude.
That's my dude right there. Let's get to these smaller stories. And we got to dunk on Ubisoft, bro. Rich, we got to dunk on Ubisoft, man.
What they do, Ray?
Assassin's Creed Shadows has been censored in Japan. Uh-oh. They're removing all the dismemberment and decapitations, even though Japan produced fucking Ninja Gaiden, which has all of that.
Well, here's the thing. In order to hit a certain rating, they will do stuff like that. Like I think I remember quite a while ago during MGS5 time, Kojima was actually complaining about that, where they actually had him censor 5. The part where they pull the bomb out of Paz's belly.
Yeah.
That was a lot. It's a lot more gross, and more bloody in the Western version than it is in the Japanese version.
Interesting.
And it's also why Peace Walker in Japan, so Peace Walker in the United States has a T rating, right? But in Japan, it couldn't get the T rating because of the torture section where Snake gets tortured by Strangelove. So they changed it to like tickle devices.
Oh shit.
So yeah, and the other one, she's like looks like she's electrocuting him, and he's just like it's crazy. So this stuff does happen.
Yeah.
And obviously there I would say, it's funny because,
by the way, this game is basically rated the M equivalent over there.
It is the M equivalent, but it also so there's like 2 levels. I think there's the Z.
Yeah, this is
and
Z.
Then there's there's Z, and apparently whatever things that they had going on over there, they saw it being over a Z.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's actually two adult ratings. There is a 17, and then the Z rating is actually 18 years old, or 20, something like that.
This one is for 18 years and above.
But even and then there's a 17. There's a 17, which is above that, which is like lower than that.
Yeah. So yeah, no big black guy slicing off Japanese people's heads in this game in Japan. Apparently,
I thought this game was rated an L.
And yeah, it should be rated an L. Just like the company. So there you go. The game is still supposedly coming out March 20th. But we'll see about that. It's already been delayed twice, And then the other Ubisoft L, this one, is less funny, admittedly, because it's not good when this stuff happens. Ubisoft had to, close down a studio and lay off 185 people. But then
does it say which studio, or is it just
UK based? UK studio based in Leamington. I don't know if I said that right, Brian. But yeah, it's a UK based studio. A small number of Leamington staff will be retained under remote contracts. Additionally, Ubisoft offices in Dusseldorf, formerly Blue Byte, Stockholm, and the Newcastle based Ubisoft Reflections will be downsized. This is what happens when you make bad games and people don't buy them. So another Ubisoft L. That's the Ubisoft L of the week. And then speaking about L's, we got to talk about another company that's taking L's, Bioware. So they claim that for Mass Effect 5, they do not require support from the full studio. Okay. EA moved some staff to other teams. So I'm like, whose decision is that? It's got to be EA. Let me read this real quick from IGN's. EA has announced it is EA then. EA has announced it is restructuring Dragon Age and Mass Effect studio Bioware, moving a number of developers onto other projects within EA and focusing entirely on its upcoming Mass Effect game going forward. In a blog post from General Manager Gary McKay, he wrote that the studio is, quote, taking this opportunity between full development cycles to reimagine how we work at Bioware, end quote. Another quote here, given this stage of development, we don't require support from the full studio. We have incredible, whatever. Kind of interesting. And then another one kind of tied into this, Dragon Age Veilguard developers have been laid off.
That's a shame.
It's a shame, isn't it? But apparently it says right they've been laid off, so the others could focus on Mass Effect.
Well, that's the company line. We know why that is.
Oh yeah,
we talked about last week how this game underperformed, which wasn't a surprise to anyone.
Yeah, sold half of what they wanted it to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe because again they're saying that Mass Effect, they haven't even started Mass Effect yet.
It hasn't gone into
Right?
full production. No.
Hasn't gone into full production. They probably just had like early,
Yeah.
scripts and prototypes and stuff. So yeah, in those early stages, yeah, you don't need a full team to do that. But at the same time, it's like, you would think they would hit the ground running. The way this is sounding, like this new title is not going to be coming this generation.
No, absolutely not.
It's definitely not coming out this generation.
Yeah.
So why announce this game as early as they did?
Because that's what these fucking companies do.
That's a phenomenal question.
And I
don't have an answer.
Yeah.
It makes it sound, initially it sounded like, oh yeah, we're totally working on it. No, you weren't. You weren't working on shit.
Well, I'm going to assume that communication didn't come from EA. It came from Bioware, specifically the Dragon Age people.
Yeah.
Probably put that out there, and they weren't supposed to. And because it was the overconfidence in themselves that we see in the final product. We know what happened. If you're the narrative writer and designer of this game, and you thought you were moving on to a new project, I don't know. You're doing a special kind of crack.
Yeah, smoking crack rocks. I'm going to bring this up because it's so insane. Since you guys brought up why are they announcing these games so early, and I'm going to try to get this right because when I say it to myself, I'm like, wait, what? That's crazy. Apparently, more time has passed from when the Elder Scrolls 6 was announced till now than the time that passed between when Elder Scrolls 5 came out and that trailer was announced. That's crazy, dude. That trailer was announced fucking years ago, but more time has passed between now and then than between Skyrim and that trailer. That's another game that ain't dropping this generation, Yeah, Fergus Mills, that's right. Physical versions of Dragon Age are currently priced at $25. Yeah, very successful game that was. That's already discounted at $25, and no one's even going to buy that trash, Again, like I said on a previous episode, I can't even feel sorry for these fucking companies. You reap what you sow,
Yeah.
It's a shame, but it is what it is, man.
One thing that's also a part of this thing is also, if you notice, a bunch of specific names that apparently started appearing for this new Mass Effect game. Did you notice those names?
No, I didn't. Who were the names?
So they look like they're rehiring back people who worked on the previous Mass Effect.
Oh, like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. You're seeing people's names that who initially worked on those titles. So notice that none of those people said Andromeda, by the way. So yeah, what they're trying, they're doing well. Hopefully, they're doing the thing that happens after things start to change and nobody likes them.
Yeah, no, you're
going
right.
Back, they're hopefully going back to what people enjoyed about that thing. But again, remains to be seen. This game hasn't even been touched yet. So,
yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on this? All right. Let's move on to an actual success story. Silent Hill 2 Remake has apparently sold a lot. It has sold 2 million copies, and Konami is very happy about that. So it goes right here. Since its release, Silent Hill 2 has received a multitude of accolades, including several perfect review scores, multiple award wins, and nominations. Yeah, like the New York Video Game Critics Circle, it won Best Remake, and Konami couldn't even bother to show up. But yeah, 2 million. So they made their money. So yeah, I don't really have. Again, I didn't play this game, so I don't have any thoughts. But good on them, I guess.
Hopefully, it means that they'll start to make more games and not just a bunch of remakes.
Yeah.
Like
Delta dropping this year.
Like Delta. I can't. It's cool to see these things again, but it's also sets a precedence that now everything you're not good enough to make anything new that you just have to go digging out into the past on games that actually worked.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this is why we keep getting remakes, because people keep buying them, you know? And I can't blame them, you know, because like we don't
Because the new stuff is trash.
The new stuff is trash, and it's few and far between. So I don't blame them. It's like, let's go play the stuff
And then
you know,
again, and then you know, it's like if you stay close to the source material, you're doing pretty damn good, aren't you? Right?
Yeah.
You know, with a Dead Space remake, a Silent Hill remake,
Resident
you have
Evil 4,
your Resident
you know.
your Resident Evils. You know, again, all very well done. But at the same time, it's not like rocket science. All they need to do is just every so often take a left instead of a right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. So there you go. Congratulations to them. And this last one is a rumor, so please take it as that. But apparently, the next God of War game is going to be set in Egypt. So that old fucking God of War one, like, you know, random endings and shit, all that stuff's coming true. You know? But also, if you played the newer God of War games, when you were in Tyr's vault, there's a bunch of Egyptian shit all over the place. So
and he actually uses Egyptian weapons on you in that last boss fight.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. So you know, again, this rumor, you know, we can't say it's real or not, but you know, I could believe it. But it also seems like it could be one of those rumors where it's just throw shit at a wall and see what sticks, because you might be right. There's a 50-50 chance. You know.
Well, it's the whole thing with you know, Egyptian mythology. It's like it's probably one of the ones that's like next in terms of which ones you can do and would be successful and would be intriguing. Like people are mentioning, shout out to the Discord, but some of you guys are crazy. It's like, what do they do Christianity next? And you know, where you fight Jesus and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna
happen.
Yeah. Listen, there are two people he is not. Kratos is not going to touch.
He ain't find Jesus. He ain't find Allah. You know?
He ain't find Muhammad. He ain't find either one of those motherfuckers.
Or Moses. You know?
Yeah.
Like the Abrahamic religions, no pain happening.
Nope. He ain't touching none of those things. If anything, he probably, like, if you're going to go into the Abrahamic religions, he's probably going to go after Satan. If that's the,
I doubt that.
It's not going to happen.
I mean,
they're not going to do that.
Dante's Inferno already happened.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know? Yeah, that would be funny, though. You know, fucking Kratos versus Moses, let my people go. And shit. You know, all of a sudden the flood on you.
even Indian like lore, like it's like, you know, like those types of gods, I doubt that they'll even go that far.
Well,
the
they
only
did
logical one. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
Well, no, they had the Aztec stuff in Ragnarok. Remember, you were finding Aztec stuff in Tyr's vault too. So I think they were hedging their bets in either of those directions. Like he would either travel to Mesoamerica or he travels to Egypt.
Yeah, but the Egypt one seems like the safest bet because again, they've already done Greek, they've already done Norse. Egypt's the next logical one. You know,
Kratos can only kill dead religions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Egyptians, there you go. But yeah, maybe they'll do some Aztec shit afterwards. Who knows? You know, Quetzalcoatl or whatever the fuck they called over there.
I mean, that'd be cool. Quetzalcoatl, a giant like bird snake.
Yeah,
him running on it. That'd be cool.
That I feel like that'll be one of the most interesting ones, but I don't know if it's commercially viable as the other ones.
I don't think so. It's like nobody really knows that stuff. Like even me, I'm like, did I just name a Mesoamerican like god or a dinosaur? I think I named both actually. You know, but it would be kind of cool. But yeah, Egypt. That's a easy. I'll make that fucking prediction.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's yeah.
But yeah, again, rumor, treat it as is. All right, let's start wrapping up. But since we do have a little bit of time, bring back something we haven't done in a while, man. What games have you been playing lately? If Adam was here, he could fill this whole slide up himself, you know? So I'll go down the line based on who I see on my screen. Manny, you first. Have you been playing anything?
I have gotten the platinum in Hi-Fi Rush.
Nice.
Nice.
Took me 115 hours to do.
No.
Damn. Whoa.
Damn, put in that
Man,
work.
I'll tell you, that like, for as far as like, like getting platinum trophies, that is one of the most difficult ones that you'll ever attempt. Number one, and also getting 100% with the DLC is even crazier. Anyway, so obviously they're you beat the game on all the difficulties, right? You beat it on easy, you beat it on normal, you beat it on hard, and you beat it on something called Rhythm Master mode. Rhythm Master mode is if you don't keep your rhythm up to a certain height, like there's this little gauge in the corner that if you keep it up above keep it above C, keep it above D, you keep your rhythm up there. If it drops any lower than that, you instantly die.
Oh wow.
So the big trophy in that game is to essentially complete this mural. So as you go through the game and you do different things, you hit things, you do these little challenges, they all fill in this giant mural. So there's no specific one for beating the beating rhythm. There is a trophy for beating, no specific trophy for beating Rhythm Master mode, I remember, but there is a trophy for completing the mural, and that's what you have to do, and that's the big trophy in that game. And I finally did it. So beat Rhythm Master mode, and then I got S and everything. So every difficulty I got S's in. So it was a big show.
You are the master now.
I am now the Rhythm Master. Anyway, so yeah, it was good. I may go back and try to clear out the DLC, but I'm about 75% on the DLC.
Nice.
There's a stupid roguelike thing in there which I really don't like. And then there's this thing called BPM mode, where essentially as you go up, the challenge is as you go up further and further and further into it, the speed of the music goes up and your timing has to match it, or can match it, but you have to really just score more points at a faster rate. Difficult as fuck, but we might see what it's doing. The other game I played was a PlayStation Plus, was added to PlayStation Plus after the holidays, which is the Stanley Parable. I played it on PC. This is Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, which is essentially a port of the Stanley Parable to the PlayStation, but it has all this additional stuff. It's Stanley Parable is pretty much a walking simulator, but the fun part of the game is essentially disobeying. The game can be beaten in like 4 to 5 minutes if you follow what the narrator says. It gets longer than that if you decide to go off the beaten path. So the narrator will be like, because it's all a commentary on narrative, on gaming in general, how we as players essentially do what the characters in the game tell you to do. So the narrator says, "Oh, Stanley went to the left door and he went to this place," but let's say you decide, "Oh no, I'm going to go this way." So then that's the fun part of it. Essentially, the narrator is sort of reacting to all the crazy things you do in the game. And, you decide, let's say you decide to jump off of a ledge. There's an ending for that. If you actually no clip out of the environment, there's actually an ending for that. And then in this game, this version of the game, what they did is they added additional... So the guys who made the game said there's not going to be a sequel to Stanley Parable, right? But in the game, they sort of goof on sequels. So all the extra DLC is essentially a goof on making a sequel. So it's when the game restarts at one point, it's like after you do this certain thing, it says the Stanley Parable 2. And then later on in the game, you do all this other stuff, and it says, okay, we know there's not going to be a Stanley Parable 2, but what if every single time that you start up the Stanley Parable, it'll be a new sequel? So every single time you start the game up, it'll say 8, but nobody knows how high the number goes up. I've seen like 400 and something things. It's every single time you restart the game, and then you get to choose the goofy like undername. So it could be like Stanley Parable, scared of fish. Like it'll give you a bunch of names to do it. It's fun, it's a really easy play, and I got the platinum in it.
Nice.
Too. They purposely made the platinums kind of stupid. So one of the platinums is
the trophies.
One of the trophies. Yeah, they made a lot of trophies kind of stupid. One of the trophies is
the Tuesday.
The Tuesday one. If you keep you play the Stanley Parable for 24 hours on a Tuesday. Random shit.
Okay, that's
So,
weird.
So that involves you leaving your PlayStation on, but you can kind of cheat it a little bit. You can, you can just set it up to show up every single, you could like play an hour or two and then just, switch the date on your thing and turn off your PlayStation, pull your PlayStation away from the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the Tuesday one. There is the one where they tell you have to click on a door 5 times. But then it gets more complicated. It's like, no, go, click this door. Now click this one. Okay, now I'm going to give you the trophy. And then there's this other trophy for essentially, like, it's a giveaway trophy, right? Where essentially you just pull this handle and it just gives you the trophy, right? But there's this whole other roundabout way that you have to go in order to get that. So, fun title. It's free. If you could beat the game in 5 minutes, but it's fun to see all the different ways that you can kind of screw with the game and sort of get a different ending.
Cool. All right. Carlos, have you been playing anything lately?
No, not recently. But I'm saving myself for Monster Hunter.
I was about to say that's what you're doing.
Getting ready.
Yeah.
Sharpening my my swords and my axes and my hammers.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. As for myself, like I mentioned, I have been toying around with the Lenovo Legion Go S. I was playing some Ninja Gaiden because remember, what is the Lenovo Legion Go S? It is a Windows machine. So when it asked me, hey, you want 3 months of Game Pass? I usually say no, but this time I'm like, sure. So I gotta just make sure to unsub, before they start charging me. So I play some Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Fucking awesome. Just as good as I remember. But it looks nice. It looks really nice. So I gotta play that on my TV, see how that looks. But I was enjoying it. Really nice, solid frame rate on the handheld. And obviously I'm still on my fighting game kick. So right now I'm playing Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, the first one. I'm going through all of them because I have them all, like all the Guilty Gear games except for the new one, the latest one, I should say, Strive. So I'm going to go through them. I'm going through all the. Basically, the game is weird, and many of you know this because you have the game. Like the story-wise, it's better to play the arcade modes and then watch the story mode because like the arcade stories happen beforehand, which is kind of interesting.
So your little endings that you get in arcade mode,
they all kind of have cliffhangers that lead into the story.
Into the story, but
you can't play story though. It's like it's just
you can't play
it.
Story, but yeah, it's literally like I don't know how long that damn movie is.
Yeah.
But you can stop it, and I fell asleep on it multiple times.
Oh man! So I got to make sure. So that's why I have 2 more characters to beat the game with, because I'm like that's gonna be my weekend project, getting through that crazy story. But yeah, remember this is a PS4 game. I'm playing on PS5. Looks absolutely fucking stunning, man. Like the animations and everything just look really good. It's not perfect. Go ahead.
Is that a pro enhanced game?
PS4 Pro enhanced. I'm not sure.
PS4
I'm not sure if it was or not, but it looks great. I'm definitely getting better at it because it's a very, very fast paced game. Like fucking my hand was going crazy. Playing it exclusively on the arcade sticks I've been reviewing. And you check out the Sunday show. I showed off some of the new ones. But yeah, no, the game's a lot of fun. Having a blast. I really like the animations, the look, the characters. Every character feels like they're from a different fighting game. It's crazy. The music, obviously, fucking incredible. I like all those songs, but the one that keeps stuck in my head is May, the pirate girl. Like she has a really cool theme.
The Van Halen song.
Yeah, it kind of does sound Van Halen-ish. But I also don't like playing against her because she loves throwing that fucking whale at me. So it's like, when her meter gets to a certain point, I'm like, respect the whale, it's coming. Respect the whale, I hate fighting against Bedman. He is frustrating, man. You know?
He's hard to read.
Yeah,
Like,
very,
just-
because I don't know what the hell he's doing. It's like, it's a dude on a bed, but there's like mechanical shit happening. Like, I don't know what's happening. So what I do is, man, I just block, because he spams like crazy. So I just block, and then when I find an opening, I go in there. He's fucking annoying. And Eno is annoying too. The guitar girl. It's like, calm the fuck down, you know?
No, she gets pretty aggressive.
Yeah, and like so bad guy. If you're fighting him on, because you know the game, each stage gets harder. When you're fighting him on our later stages, like he's gonna whip out that fucking demon shit, you know. So, but it's kind of easy. Just stay away from him until it washes away. Then you go in and fuck him up. But yeah, I one of the things I love about new fighting games is just figuring out the mechanics and everything. So I'm getting pretty good at it. Yeah, fun stuff. And I'm still running through my drills of like, you know, getting better with the arcade sticks, playing Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. I think I'm at a point where I think I'm as good with a fight stick as I am with a controller. Like I don't have to think about shit anymore. It just kind of comes out, which is good, you know. And it's interesting, you know how like at least for me, like on a controller, I'm better on. I could do certain moves on one side better than another. With the arcade stick, I do the moves the same on both sides for the most part. Dashing is where I have a problem. It's easier for me to dash this way than it is this way. Because think about it, pushing your hand this way, it's easier than pulling back, you know? But like the crazy like King of Fighters moves, which are also in Guilty Gear, work out perfectly. Like I'm really glad I played Fatal Fury because Guilty Gear is more lenient when it comes to the movements and stuff. You can kind of fuck up a little bit more. The game's very lenient, so learning how to do them properly in King of Fighters is just letting me just do them really easily. Yeah, So when I finish this one, I'll move on to Revelator and then Revelator 2. Revelator 2 is basically the ultimate version of Exard, and I'll eventually get to Guilty Gear Strife, which also looks insane. You know, beautiful games, bro. So that's
it's interesting that you started with Exard, because I would have probably just gone to Revelator because it's pretty much the same.
Well, that's the thing. I actually went straight to Revelator 2, and then again, me, I like playing through the story. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, let me go back to Exard, And then even though it's weird, it's like it gives you a better grounding. So I'm like, let me just go right through this. Because you're right, Revelator is the ultimate version. Revelator is basically Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's like the ultimate version where it has everything. But yeah, I'm having a great time with that. I haven't played it fully yet, but yeah, I'm going to be playing some Spider-Man 2 on PC on the Lenovo Legion Go. And actually, I don't think I told you guys. I did play... Oh, yeah, I did. I told you I played some Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Yeah, I told you guys about that. Mai's coming next week to Street Fighter, so I'll give you some update on that. And you already know Monster Hunter is coming. Open beta, February 11th. So get ready, But yeah, that's what I've been playing lately. Moving on to Brian. What have you been playing lately?
Oh, good question. I've been also like Carlos, been stuck in that Monster Hunter world.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like shaking off the dust, getting them brushed off, sharpening up my skills for the demo. Well, beta, as they say, but demo. That's mostly about it. I haven't really been playing much else. I did, the start of the year, get the platinum for Just Cause 4. That was something. I don't recommend it. It's somehow worse than Just Cause 3, but yeah. The platinum grind, not the game. The game is... Yeah, it's fine. It exists. So yeah, Just Cause 4, got the platinum for that. Nothing else, really. There's not really been much I've been looking forward to apart from Monster Hunter, so that's been taking the fiddle. I'm still planning my route ahead for getting the Final Fantasy 15 platinum at some point this year. So
get ready for that fucking turtle. So I'm saying Carlos knows about that turtle. Fuck.
I've heard.
Oh wait, 15.
15.
Damn, you were going way back.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Brian. I think it was last year. That's when I got my I got the platinum for that game. I got it last year. Funny enough, I was stuck on 2 trophies between when it came out. I think Tony got it like the year it came out.
Yeah.
Platinum.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I was kind of like on par with Tony until he got the platinum, and then I just never got the last 2 trophies until like last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that turtle is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
You'll get ready for that.
Yeah, Adamantos, get ready, man. It's like that battle's like an hour long. I'm not even exaggerating. It's a fucking long battle because the HP, the health, it's just forever.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, so it's not difficult. It's just fucking mentally draining. But yeah, good luck with that. All right, anything else?
No, that's nothing else. I did get Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remastered because it's free. So I am looking because actually I tried to get the platinum on the OG, but the servers were down and no one was online anymore. So I was only missing out on 2 trophies, which obviously are the online trophies because obviously fucking online trophies, man. So this time I'm looking to get those out first and then just spend the rest of the time just working my way through it. It's not difficult. It's just that the later stages are a bit difficult because you need to get like full distinction, like gold stars on the later ones, and they're just some of them are a bit ridiculous. And then there's like a grind at the end, but it's manageable. The annoying ones are just the online ones. Luckily enough, it's nothing crazy. It's just compete in X many races, compete in X many this type of races, and that's it. You don't even have to win. Just be there. Sometimes just to like join the game and just leave my controller there and walk out the room.
There you go. All right, Chris, what about you? What have you been playing lately?
I haven't played much. I did get Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yes.
And I was just, I loved every match. I fired up MVC2, did some matches. But the one I played through, which I never played before, was The Punisher.
Oh,
so I played through that, finished that game. It's just like, it just took me back to this old beat 'em ups. Like, more and more, I want more collections like that of these old arcade beat 'em ups that we can't get anymore. Like, I don't know what needs to happen or what lawyers need to get together. I need the Aliens versus Predator arcade game put out officially somewhere. Like, this is ridiculous that it's not anywhere that you can play. But I enjoyed that game. The whole collection is good. Like, I tried out some stuff. I haven't played much in the way of new stuff. I have a huge backlog. I got I heard Brian talk about Space Marine 2. I picked it up. I have not played it. I treated myself to it for Christmas, but I didn't touch it yet, so I have to get on that.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's it for me.
All right, Rich, what have you been playing lately that you're allowed to talk about?
Well, so I did go back to WWE 2K24 because I actually went to a wrestling event here Monday and Tuesday. And at one of those events, that's when they revealed WWE 2K25. So looking forward to that. Obviously, that's coming out in March. Monster Hunter, looking forward to that as well. It's going to be very busy, February and March. Aside from that, I just got access to Dynasty Warriors Origins. So looking forward to checking that out. I'm sure Riku would be very happy to hear that I have the game now. So, but no, pretty much taking it easy because, again, February and March is going to be pretty busy. But yeah, looking forward to all of this.
Yeah, no, those months are going to be insane. So get ready, people. Get ready. All right, man, that's going to do it for us here. Manny, do you want to plug that thing you're doing?
Yes, there is a few things. Let me just capture my thoughts again because I totally forgot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so yes, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th Anniversary Deluxe Edition is out. So if you remember last year, or around October, November, or was it December? I can't remember. Anyway, we released a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th anniversary with me, Kari Randolph, and Lloyd Goldfund, the original people who worked on the original 2003 version of Ninja Turtles. Now there's a really nice, sexy hardcover book that's out in the field. It has all the covers that we did, even the really, really rare cover that me and Kari did, which was a incentive cover for retailers. So yeah, they have a really nice package there, nice hardcover. So that's going to be out soon. There's also more turtley stuff in the future coming from me and Kari. You've already probably seen it posted. It is a series of Turtles covers that we're going to be doing. That is coming around. Looks like it's from what they're saying, it's in October, starting in October. So it'll be all 4 Ninja Turtle characters, Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, all on a cool series of covers that sort of, connect to each other. So yeah, that's what's going on now. Obviously more things to come. I can announce this now. I will be going to C2E2.
Oh, nice.
In Chicago, in
Chattowns.
So hope if you guys are in Chicago, hope to see you there. I'll have all kinds of good stuff. This is going to be a con year. I've applied to multiple conventions. I'm going to see if I can try to get into Evo. To see,
they're going to open up registration, I believe, next week. So stay tuned for that.
I'm gonna see if I can get in there for because that's right up my alley, doing video game artwork. So yeah, that's what's going on this year. It should be a fun one.
Good stuff.
Also, Metal Gear Con.
Metal Gear Con. There you go. All right, yeah, we'll catch up with Coalition stuff on Sunday. So let's start wrapping things up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Join the Discord and follow us on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez. You're muted.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
As a wise man once said, keep rolling, 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 rolling. Yeah.
Oh, no. You fucking son of a bitch. Brian trolling over here with that bullshit. All right, man. We'll see you on Sunday. Later. Ask those questions.
Laters.